What is up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge for a little softball talk with you today. Before we get started with the video, please subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so you know when we put a video out. Also, go to the fanstop.com. When you get there, use code SURGE. You'll get 10% off your first 3 months. Officially licensed gear. Awesome merchandise. So check it out. Hunter, Super Regional start on Thursday night. OU versus Florida State, rematch of the World Series championship last year. Florida State, uh, a team that has underperformed, I would say, early on, but as of late has been playing a lot better. And they sit there with that 15 seed. And Hunter, just kind of give us some overall, maybe your overall arching thoughts of Florida State and some stats that you have for us.
Yeah, Florida State 46-14, and they are a 15 seed. Had a rough start to the year. Now in their last 33 games, 28-5. They're playing some of the best softball in the country. Just again with how dominant the SEC was this year. Looking at the final 16, 7 out of 16 are SEC, 4 are Big 12. So just being in the ACC, not playing well against Duke, they're 1-3 against them. But of those 28 wins over their last 33 games, 13 of them have been run rolls, and they're led by freshmen. This is a very good team. Oklahoma's very familiar with them, playing them last year in the national championship and also in 2021. So, very interesting super regional matchup that almost feels like a college or WCWS matchup in Oklahoma City. Just only difference it being 30 minutes south at Love's Field.
Yeah, and you mentioned the run rolls that they've had. I watched a little bit of them this last weekend, and they turned some close games into very big wins, run roll style, very quickly. I think you could say the same thing about OU, some in some regard, where it's kind of a tight game through 4 innings, and then you look up and they win 10-3 or 11-3 or something. That's kind of a little bit the same way with Florida State there, from what I was watching, but. There are some familiar faces and familiar names of the Florida State that you will recognize, everybody. One in particular, Hunter, is the catcher, Edenton. Everybody remembers her from last year, but she's vastly improved, in my opinion.
Yeah, entering this season, Michaela Edenfield had 29 home runs over 2 years at FSU. This year she has 15. Her career high is 16. And while she's doing that, she's also having the best year of her career at the plate, batting 389. Has missed 9 games for them so far, but very dominant. And then, again, I mentioned it. This team is led by freshmen. Jasoni Beecham leads the team in batting average with 425, the best freshman in the country. And I know Oklahoma has Ella Parker, Cassidy Pickering. They're great. They're dominant freshmen as well. But Beecham is just better. Leads the team in every statistical category in hits, batting average, RBIs, home runs, and she's only a freshman. Just dominant stuff for the Seminoles.
Yeah, Edenfield. I think I said Edenton earlier. Edenfield, really, really good defensive catcher, too. I watched the game on Sunday, and they had runners on base, and she was blocking everything. Not letting runners advance. Really good behind the plate. So that's a great kind of. I think when you look up matchups from both sides, Hanson and Edenfield, that's a great matchup. I know they don't go against each other, but I think it's just two great catchers behind the plate there. And then talking about their pitching staff a little bit, I think personally the pitching staff has been probably their Achilles heel to why they lost so many early. And kind of, if they've struggled, I think it's been more from the staff. I don't know. You might have their total team ERA. I don't know if you do, but I know that it's not as good as they would hoped it would have been going into this season, Hunter.
Yeah, team ERA of 3.6. Not the best, especially for Florida State standards, but Ashton Danley has team leading ERA of 3.12. McKenna Reed not far behind at 3.37. So they have some very talented arms. Again, they just haven't performed well. And I mean, you look at the flip end of it. Over their last, again, I said 33 games, they're averaging about 8 runs a game. The offense is winning them games. The pitching's not great, but this is a very, very talented offense that they are setting program records this year, or on pace to do so if the season ended today or if they keep up with what they're doing offensively.
Well, and that's why I think it's going to be so important for Oklahoma to get the bats going. I mean, because they do hit the ball really well. Florida State does. So I just don't. I mean, I think OU could pitch well and still allow a run or two, 2 runs, 3 runs, whatever it may be. So you're going to have to score some runs this series, Hunter.
Yeah, this is not a series. Oregon's a very good team. Oklahoma almost had to play that if game on Sunday in the regionals, only scoring 3 runs. I don't think 3 runs is going to win you a game against Florida State. I really don't. These freshmen are the real deal. 33% of their hits are from freshmen. 36% are from of RBIs are from freshmen, and almost 50% of their inning pitched are from freshmen. 48% there. So this team has that combination of young, very good talent with that veteran leadership. I mean, you look through their team. You have Mudge, who I mean, a star for them, has been in the postseason. You have Edenfield on that run last year to the final in the College World Series. So it's a very interesting uh, lineup. And again, underperformed early on, or they would not be a 15 seed there. As a team, they have 87 home runs on the year. RBIs, believe they set a program record this year for it. They're not far behind OU in that category. Uh, they're at 411. OU is at I believe 437. So not too far behind there. Just again, it's one that you see Florida State, especially. It's been 10 straight years that they've hosted a regional. For them to be a 15 national seed, it's a rarity. I think everything's clicking for them at the right time right now.
Yeah, and you have a little bit of the revenge from last year, losing to Oklahoma in the championship. So this is a super regional, though. Even though I think this could be it's going to be a very tough super regional for Oklahoma. I mean, I would say it's a lot tougher than what they've had in the last few years to get to the World Series. But in the same, you can say that, but in the same way, you can also say, I think that's good for Oklahoma. For playing. I mean, right now you're moving to the World Series. You need to be playing at your best anyway. So, what better way to try to beat the 15 seed Florida State, who is a pretty good team. So I think it's good for Oklahoma. It's going to be a good challenge for Oklahoma. I mean, we all know great coaches on both sides, great players. It's going to be a good matchup. And Thursday night it all starts, and we'll see what that game one matchup's going to be. Is it going to be Maxwell Danley? I kind of think it will be, but
Yeah, I would be shocked if it's not, honestly. I think it's gonna be, uh, a high scoring game unless for some reason, something that doesn't happen a whole lot, it seems at Love's Field, the wind blowing in. I think you're gonna see, a lot of offensive production from Florida State and probably even from Oklahoma.
yeah, let's hope so. Should be a great super regional. And there you have it, some information about Florida State. Thanks, Hunter, for dropping all the stats for us. Appreciate everybody for watching the video, as always. Make sure you subscribe, be a part of it. We'll talk to you down the road. Till next time. Boomer.